Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015 whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Love the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us every Friday, 7 p.m. on the Friday Fix, and every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on the Sunday Town Hall. Well, Wes, it doesn't look like we have to get any of those bad water fountains yet.
Why is that?
I guess we're going back, folks.
Sounds like it.
Going back. So Trump administration removes longstanding ban on segregated facilities. In a move that's raising major eyebrows across the nation, the Trump administration just pulled a historic shift. The longstanding ban on segregated facilities and federal contracting rules have officially been removed. According to a General Service Administration memo dropped last month, the federal government will no longer explicitly require federal contractors to maintain integrated spaces like restaurants, waiting areas, and even drinking fountains. Yeah, you heard that right. The change is in part of a large update tied to Trump's executive order targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, effectively rolling back protection that traces all the way back to the President Lyndon B Johnson's 1965 executive order. That order enforced non-discrimination requirements for companies working under federal contracts, especially when it came to race and integrated work environments.
I mean, like, integration is an integral part of this nation, man. This is what having those laws in place has kept this nation moving forward for a substantial amount of time. To me, it's sickening to sit back and watch these people dismantle the things that safeguard America as being a country. We know that we're a melting pot. You know what I mean? Even in countries like Canada, they have laws to where a certain percentage of your workforce has to be a certain color. The reason why those laws are in place are not because these people didn't deserve the jobs, because you wouldn't give them to them before, because they weren't considered for them, because they weren't considered to be able to live in these certain neighborhoods, because they were not, given these other privileges that other people were given for hundreds of years and gave people head starts because of economic head starts. So when you start talking about taking away these privileges, are saying these things can be okay, you can segregate now. Well, if you have most of their wealth is concentrated in one major class of people in this country, and then you say, oh, well, you guys can go build your own. Like, you know what you've done over time to create the disparity that's here right now.
No, bro. Black folks they say the black dollar only stays in the black neighborhood about an hour, maybe actually, I think 10 minutes or something like that. So cool. Let's do it. Segregate us all. It's not like we don't even back then, we still had the skills from slavery to build stuff and do things. We still have the resources now. If this is how you want to play it, cool, because I know there's going to be because we can segregate also. We ain't got to let people in our spaces, as we shouldn't anyways, because a lot of people come into our spaces and they try to warp and deform what we're doing. So cool. Hey, this is what they want to do. This is what he ran off. Hate and racism. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So cool. Let's go. Because this ain't the 60s, homie. This ain't the 30s. This ain't the 40s. It's 2025. You know what I'm saying? We don't need them. Cool. What are you going to do? Just watch what we're doing and then copy it? It's still not going to be cool. Look what happened on TikTok. The black influencers were upset because the white influencers were stealing all their dance moves. So the black influencers, when Meg Thee Stallion came out with something, shaking my ass, anyways, they goofed off and they didn't make any dances. And the white influencers didn't have anything to do. They were making dances about waving their hands in the air.
On
my thought shit, excuse me. So, I mean, like, who really runs this show? You know what I'm saying? You may have the money, you may have the power, but we have our own money. We can take care of ourselves.
Now, I understand that. And I mean, those are valid points. But the bigger point is this country. This is how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it from a perspective of the direction of this nation. We're invested in this country. People have 401ks, they have homes, they own property in this nation. You don't want to see it fail because of bad policy. Yeah, they do. And on top of, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about us. Like right now, this country is changing hands. This is what this real whole thing is about. It's a changing hands, a changing of the guard. And like, it's like you can either rule over the ashes while they burn everything down. You know what I mean? Or we can actually have something to actually rule over that's still here. They'd rather burn it down on their way out the door, knowing that, you guys are pretty much, it's a done deal. You look across the world, it's a done deal. Europe, it's a done deal. You know what I mean? Here in the United States, it's a done deal. Your last little rest havens you have are like Australia. I mean, even that is being, There's a lot of integrating going on as well there too. And so it's just sickening to watch and know that this is the way our country rather go out this way than go out the right way.
No, this way will make them feel more prouder at the end of it. But also you have to realize this: there's a lot of people out there, that have biracial kids, have biracial relationships, and they voted for Donald Trump. So how you gonna feel when you try to go into a Red Robin or something like that, or a Target, and they only one of y'all can go in? How you gonna feel when you try to take your kid to a restaurant? They be like, "Yeah, ma'am, you can come in, but that little thing can't." You know what I'm saying? You voted for this, and so you can't be like, "Oh, well, I just voted for this one thing." No, you voted for all of it. So you need to own it. You need to hold it and be like, "Yes, this is what I wanted."
They were good with it from the very beginning.
I wanted you to erase Black history out of everything. And I want to make it so the niggers can't come around us.
You wanted your country back. This is what you called for, but it was never really yours to begin with. This was the whole thing about it. It was never really yours. It was built off the backs of slaves, stolen from Native Americans. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
they took it. That's the whole thing. I mean, we can always look back. Oh, it's never. No, they took it. That's what it is. And so now it's like, if you want your piece, if you want your piece, you're gonna have to take it too. And that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's not back then where these laws where you could just chase us down the street and hang us and have picnics. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got guns too. We can hold ourselves down. We just choose not to because we have the option not to. So this is going to be good for Black people.
This isn't something. I'm not just looking at it from
federal workplaces. They're getting rid of all that stuff anyways.
I'm not gonna say I'm not so much as looking at this as just a Black issue, because I do look at most things as that, because being a Black man, I look at this as a nation issue, as a country issue. I don't want our dollar to become worthless because I have dollars. I don't want things in our country to go down in value because, we own things here. So I don't want the negativity to happen, not for the simple fact of like, oh, well, I think we need you. No, I understand we need each other. This isn't about us versus you. And it is essentially, but it's not, because in reality, it's a circle and we're all encompassed within that circle.